Samir Arora is our market master of the day. He's founder and fund manager at Helios Capital. Samir, good morning. Great to have you with us here. Thank you very much for your time. You know, you're back from travels back from extensive travels, if I can say, in UP, I mean, the Hindi heartland, meeting politicians. We've been all seeing your Twitter posts with top leaders, sussing out what's really happening on the ground. So tell us the feedback that you've got across through this sort of political yatra, if you can call it that.
And there were many tweets you didn't see because I didn't put them up to avoid trolling from both the sides. But anyway, so the thing is, I went in thinking that we must get some idea in the end phase or last few phases that what is happening. But I came back thinking that it is not as complicated as we make it out to be, which is, oh, will the BJP get 290 seats, 280 seats, 320 seats? I think it doesn't matter. What we need is, at the minimum, will they get 272 seats or not? And I think that is a high probability game. So beyond that is more our intellectual interest in this game. But practically speaking, although that day people may be disappointed, not disappointed, but I finally I'm thinking that I am only interested in that number, and the probability of getting that number is very high or higher than that. Many people concluded, because this was a big group, that will be same as last time. Some said higher, lower. It's too complicated. They were more episodes and gossip that we got rather than being able to say by going to 2-3 places like Raebareli, Amethi, Lucknow, and Ayodhya, that you can get a full picture of what will happen nationally. But in the end, I concluded from all this that that is a wrong number to target. I mean, in terms of thinking that what will it be? Because beyond maybe a few days here or there, as long as the BJP government is back, the market will be okay. It might be a little less okay, a little more okay. That depends on the exact numbers.
Okay, so basically you came back with more confidence that, I mean, there's no risk to 272, right? And
I think that's the way. Because it looked that there are people who are against and people who are for, but at the end of the day, the starting point is too much in favor of BJP. The last time's victory was too emphatic, and therefore the share and all the things which all these guys presented. Even if you lose a few, I'm not saying that you are, because you can't figure this out in meeting a few people. And then I saw this interview of Prashant Nair yesterday, where one point stuck with me, that if some 38 or I don't know, remember, some 38-40% people voted for BJP, then if you meet 100 people on the road, anyway, 60 people are not basically people who didn't vote. But it will look to you that I met so many people and they were all, or not all, that this X% was against. So the point is, after looking at, even at the visit itself, I had figured this out. And then I think this interview was quite convincing that I don't need to look at whether you're getting 310 or 320. I will be reasonably similarly bullish if you are at 272 plus.
No, got that. And that interview was very, very instructive. So for our viewers as well, they should go and check it out. So kind of goes region by region, west and north and east and south. And it's a pretty good one. Samir, in terms of policy cues, because you met some very senior leaders as well, right? In terms of going forward, and you heard confidence that, well, there's no risk to that outcome of them coming back. But in terms of policy cues, etc., anything you picked up?
In the policy, all these senior guys, basically, they don't make the policy, I think. So their only thing was that is the decision of the new government. But basically, looking at everything else, it looks at the policies will not be bad for the market. There's only one angle where I have this worry that if you win strongly, will you be very confident and therefore say that, oh, they're showing some photos of us and others. But anyway, so that, you'll be very worried about, we would be very worried about capital gain taxes and stuff like that. And I can say it that you may get as many seats, but if that is done, it will neutralize a very large part of the good feel factor, and it will be negative for the public because the new investors coming in have seen wealth creation for the first time. And it will be very negative. It won't be just negative, it will be highly negative, because when we say that the Indian market has outperformed other markets over the last 5 years, 10 years, that would not be the case if we put taxes in it. We just show you in the world the index level performance. But since no other market, and I would like to emphasize no, as in 0 out of, I think, 190 countries charges tax to, for example, foreign investors. Actually, if you do post-tax returns, then India will not stand out. And many of the biggest investors in the world, but even if they're coming from US, where there might be home taxes, are endowments and sovereign funds and these Temaseks and Canadian Pension Fund and RDR. None of these guys pay taxes anywhere. So therefore, if tax is charged at the source, then they will have to look at post-tax returns, and those will be okay, but they will not be as great as the current returns. And also the domestic investors who have recently come in and are creating wealth and are excited about this thing and are therefore supporters of liberalization and opening up because they see its impact on the market. So from both angles, let's hope they don't do that. Other than that, we are bullish, bullish, bullish.
Okay, bullish, bullish, bullish. Got that. Samir, hi, good morning. So, post the elections, of course, elections is one event and it has its own, repercussions on the market, I think very briefly, right, for those 1 or 2 days. Then the market moves on to looking at, say, the budget, which is coming up in July. Then you have global events as well.
So I disagree with that.
Sure.
I disagree with that. If it is the same government, it will have a marginal effect. If it's a different government, because people will take time to adjust, they also are not clarified in black and white what the policies are and what the view towards corporate sector, towards taxes. So all those things are not there in black and white, according to me. Maybe there was some manifesto which I have ignored. But broadly speaking, this is not that simple that it will be a one-day effect if it is indeed a non-BJP government.
Okay, got that. So it could be a binary event if it's a non-BJP
Up to that, yeah. And after that, you may say from next day afternoon, you are again bullish, because now we are saying that over the next 12, 18 months, we'll recover these losses. So when you look at it over 10 years, all these events look like small points. Just
very
like
small blips. Yeah, I completely agree. No, my point is...
Even wars look like small point. But on the day one of the war, it is a war. So you can't say, don't matter after 30 years, when you look at this graph, it will look like a straight line up or something.
No, my point is for that retail investors watching you right now, does he have to tweak his strategy in any way? I mean, or does he just continue believing that this is an uptrending market with a few hiccups on the way? I mean, what's the best way to approach it now?
What I've understood and what I tell people is, because many people will be for one party, many people will be for the other party. And I think the need to distinguish is what in their mind should happen from what will happen. And I saw even in 2014 that many people were betting on what should happen or not what will happen. And I think this difference needs to be there. This is not an emotional thing. It is a practical thing. That's why I say practically, if you believe like me that, there is enough buffer so that even if things go a little bit wrong for the BJP, they are getting more than 270 with 30, 40 seats is a lot, even if you, are doing badly. And so in the end, then it won't matter. It's your belief. But at the end of the day, differentiate between what you think should happen in terms of who should win versus what will happen.
Okay, hi Samir, good morning. So I think we've gone on for a goodish bit on politics. The message is clear. BJP getting a clear majority will be read favorably, and no tinkering of these capital gains taxes. That's
yes, very much. I am the proponent of this no increase in capital gains, which I think should be brought up again and again.
Okay, so that's out of the way. Let's talk about a couple of sectors and themes. Since we look at your Twitter feed quite a lot. Auto stocks, you had put out a tweet that there are quite a couple of reasons why maybe you'll be a little bit skittish on the auto themes. Tell us more about that. How do you approach this space?
That is done very, very well. When it is big picture, I don't worry about small picture. Like in 22, I said it doesn't matter what the companies say. IT sector is going through a bad time, and because what happened, just to give you a setting, a company has some orders in IT. If they know that the client is otherwise going bankrupt because its client or that industry is doing badly, they'll say, no, we have got an order. We have got an order, so what can we do? We have an order. So they knew what was happening, because if I knew without having met any client and they didn't know, it can't be. It's just that they say, we have visibility of an order, sorry. So it's the same thing in auto. It's conceptually conceptually a capital destroyer of the highest proportion. I don't think there's been a bigger capital destroying business created in the world in the current context, where you are, for non-economic reasons, making the entire auto industry of the world move to electric vehicles because of climate and ESG issues, not related to economics. Because when you switch, the number of cars that you will sell will be the same as you were selling before. Of course, there'll be normal growth of the underlying industry wherever in India, maybe more or whatever, but that was happening anyway. So you are spending these billions of dollars to stay in place collectively. Secondly, there are new guys who've come in, and these new guys were not there in the IC business, but they are in the EV business. And therefore, now you have many more players. Now, in a business where you're going to protect and say, oh, I can't handle a Chinese company, I can't handle this company, that company's multiple cannot be the same as a company which is open world, because you are not allowed to imagine that for the rest of my life, our sector will be protected. So you are in theory protected for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. And after that, this protection has to go away. So whenever the government of India or say in the US, they increase tariffs, you are not supposed to, in theory, because these days we've forgotten theory because of the new crowd, that you are not supposed to give it the same multiple as an unprotected industry, because an unprotected industry is more sustainable. So the number of players has increased. The old players have to make massive investments. The scale of investments in India, these big companies spend $3 billion a year. If you can type EV budget of Volkswagen, EV budget of BMW, EV budget of Chrysler, and you can see that they are in like up to 200 billion. And we are supposed to only say, no, we'll be protected. That cannot be a model in which anybody will make money. But if it does well, there's another formula we have that many companies do well. So we don't care about every company that does well.
No, point taken. Samir, just to...
And also there has been a corporate governance issue in the biggest company. But because I'm interested in that stock, I can't talk about it. But you can't do this conversion of non-voting share at discount. That was not the deal when these shares were issued. But anyway, I'm interested in the stock. Let me disclose.
You talk about
okay,
Tata Motors. Yeah, no,
I didn't say anything like that. You are
Fine, you didn't say anything. Just one, Samir, what you said, and take that point about, I mean, if it does well, you don't have to own everything that does well, right? I mean, you can own things which do well, and that's fine.
Every year, some 150, 200 stocks beat the market by more than 10-15% in that 1 year. We are buying only 35 stocks. Let us say we think that a stock should do badly, but it does well. So how does it matter? It is more important if I think that a stock will do well and that does badly.
Yeah.
I just want so many stocks do well, you can ignore half of them and still be okay.
Obviously.
Maybe you will not get all of them to be doing well. But you are hoping from your side that you get enough of those.